All right, so Tyler, just share about your judo. How did you start judo? When did you start, and what was the circumstances starting judo?
So I started judo when I was 9 years old. Um, I actually started only because I was supposed to be in baseball, but my parents they missed baseball signups, and they were like, "Well, you got to do a sport." My brother and my sister they were already in judo, so they're like, "That's where you're gonna go." I found out that I was gonna do judo when I was at the park with Uncle Kevin's three daughters and then Jordan. We were gonna go straight from the park to judo practice. And when I found out, I flipped out. I ran down the park, jumped up a tree, and I just refused to come down for about maybe like an hour, hour and a half about. I remember Maya, the youngest one, she was like trying to boost Anna up to the tree, and then I was just like leaning down, like peeling off her fingers so that she couldn't get up. It took a super long time, and finally, um, they had to leave for judo practice. My family was still there, and my mom was so fed up that she she got everyone else in the car, and then she was just driving down the road like super slowly, just like passing me like this. Just yelling at me. She's like, "Tyler, get your butt in the car right now." And I was thinking in my head, I was like, So it's either between getting abandoned at the park or judo practice. And I was thinking, well, the park has water fountains, so I could survive. Like, I could make it a couple weeks maybe. But eventually, I got down, ran into the car. And then when I got there, I was kind of surprised because I actually kind of liked judo. It was kind of nice. Like, I didn't love it, but I was like, okay, it's not too bad. But because I would say, probably Academy Award winning performance at the park, I couldn't show how much I liked it. I had that pride in me. I was like, no, still gotta be like, yeah, whatever. Judo's whatever. But that's how I got started. It wasn't
Yeah.
usual start.
We
Yeah.
had a small group with the youth today. I asked them, how many of you guys hated judo when you were younger? Most of them raised their hand. And but now they love judo for some reason. So for you parents, if your kids say, "I hate judo," just keep them coming, and they'll change their mind eventually. Yeah. So okay. So you and by the way, Tyler loved it so much. He trained hard, and he was one of our students that went to the junior nationals and won the national championship. So that's very from running away on his to national champion. Yeah. Okay. So now tell us a little bit about your family. The dynamics of your family.
So I have two other siblings who are my biological siblings, and then I have two more who are adopted. The adopted ones are 9 years old and 6 years old. Sorry, 5 years old. Sorry, my mom was like, "Bye." My bad, my bad. So we adopted them through fostering. My family has been fostering since I was about 12 years old. And we would always have kids coming in maybe for like a weekend or maybe a month. And then we had one that was with us for over a year. But when Logie came to us, the 9-year-old, it was just like, he was just family already. Like from the day we got him, he was just my brother. Same with Noah, except with Noah, Noah just never left. He just showed up and he was just with us the entire time. With Logie, we had kind of I would say, spiritual battle with it. His mom wasn't the best. It wasn't the best fit for him. Like going back to the mom, it was a very dangerous situation potentially, and he had no other family that wanted to show up. Um, so at least for a little while, with Logie, he was going back and forth between us and the mom, and they were trying to figure out who he was going to end up with. And I just remember that a period of time when Logan was away with his mom, um, it was like one of the only times in our lives when we've seen my grandpa just like break down and cry, because like Logie means so much to us. Sorry, because Logie's just, if you've ever met him, he's the best. He's so great, and honestly, Logie and Noah, like I wouldn't trade them for anything, you know. Sorry.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you you adopted, your family adopted two boys, and you went on, graduated from high school, graduated from college in marketing and was graphic design.
Just graphic design.
Oh, graphic
Yeah, I
design.
was studying marketing.
But tell us what happened. You got a job, and tell us about that job and the whole process.
So I would like to say that I got into it because like I wanted to do something like this, but honestly, I needed to pay for school. I needed money, and I figured I got two brothers at home, right, that are already on the spectrum, so why not get paid for something like that? So that was my start going into it. But once I actually started working with the kids and I started like talking to parents and everything like that, you really start to um, you have like a heart for them and you really have passion for what you do. I know that last year, at one point, I had 6 different clients at the same time. I had a 4-year-old, a 5-year-old, 6-year-old, a 10-year-old, a 13-year-old, and an 18-year-old. So all across the board. And that took up 6 days a week for me. But going to work, it never really felt like work because I just loved working with them so much. It was like I got to almost go and hang out with more little brothers. And it was great working with them and great talking with the parents. And the more that I did that, the more I fell in love with the job. And I really got to see the struggles they went through and the triumphs they had. And if you've ever worked with like kids on the spectrum, it's always the real little wins that mean so much. Like just anything from like having them sit down for 3 seconds. You're just like, what? Like that's amazing. And it just it makes your whole day. Sometimes it makes your whole week. It's incredible to see that, and that's why I have such a passion for doing what I'm doing right now.
Wow, amazing, amazing. At the same time, we started the club back in July 2021. Well, actually, this location here. We started Honolulu Judo Club in a little garage in McCully back in 2019. But we moved here, and again, I said that I had this desire, this burden to do this adaptive judo class, but I realized that it wasn't in my capacity. And Mari and I were talking, and we said, let's just launch this thing. We'll just wing it. But wisdom from the leadership, my wife, said, no, let's wait. God's going to bring the resources. So we waited. We waited a year and a half. And then Tyler shows up. Tell us about that, when we started talking about maybe you might want to do this.
So when Uncle Kevin first approached me about it, I was actually pretty hesitant about doing it. We had the pandemic, and I hadn't done judo since prior to that. So I was like, I don't know. I'm working now. I have school. Um, it's a big commitment to come back and do something like that. So I was pretty hesitant about it. Um, so I told Uncle Kevin, I said I'd think about it and pray about it, and the more I thought about it, the more I prayed about it, the more I was like, okay, if this is what God wants me to do, then He'll make it work out either way. So, yeah, I went back to Uncle Kevin and let him know that I would lead the class.
Yeah, so now we can't do it, just Tyler and me can't do it. So you called your judo buddies. So tell us about that.
Um, so the group of guys that I grew up doing judo with, I, because of the pandemic and also because we're all growing up, we hadn't seen each other in a while. Like maybe I'd see them like once or twice a year, but they were the first people that I thought when I needed volunteers for something like this. I thought of them first, and all of them, for the most part. There's one of them that had school, so he couldn't. But everyone else said yes immediately, and it was like for me, I was just kind of blown away by that because um, I haven't seen them in a while, and it's been a while since all of us have kind of done judo like that, and just to see them step up like that and agree to come out, um, it was pretty amazing to me. And I'd like to, if it's okay, I'd like to kind of shout out a few of them. So we have Kai, who's been coming out since our first unofficial practice, and he's been so great with just everything. He's anything that I needed from him, he was like, I got you. And he was like consistent. He would always get back to me. Before that, we were lucky if Kai would text us once. Like sometimes we'd text him, he wouldn't get back to us. But for this class, he's so on it. He's just like, whatever you need, whatever the kids need, and he's coming out every single time. And Kai is just great. And then we have Shaden, who's working as a firefighter now. And on his Fridays off, he's agreed to come out. So there's so many things that he could be doing, but he agreed to come out to work with the kids. We have my brother Micah, who changed his entire work schedule just so that he could have Fridays off. So he's really like anything you need, and it's for me as his brother, it really means a lot to see that. And then we have Kaisen. Kaisen also agreed to come out. He's been fantastic too. I texted him a few days before, and he was like, Tyler, I'm kind of nervous. I've never done something like this before. But the one thing he told me, he was like, we got this. It wasn't an I got this. He was like, we got this. Like he knows that we all got each other's backs and that we all want the same thing. We all have the same goal in mind to help these kids. Um, so that was just kind of amazing for me to see that he was already thinking, we're a team and this is how we're going to get it done. So yeah, everyone who's come out so far has been fantastic, and majority of us are in our 20s. There's so many things they could be doing. Like they have school, they have work, they could be out having fun on a Friday, but they all want to come out and they want to help these kids and grow with them. So it's pretty powerful to me.
You know, we say kids, and because I raised them, well, in the judo, I beat up on them, and I had my assistant Matt beat up on them, and some of them have PTSD from Matt working out with them because I told Matt, go get him, Matt. but and you look at them today, and we've had some dry runs, and we had our first practice. These guys are professional. They're caring, compassionate, passionate, and amazing job that they're doing. And how many students we start off with? We have four right now.
We have four, yeah,
So
currently.
four right now, and we're really looking at maybe having a lot of the kids might need one to one. Yeah, one to one.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things that we're looking at. So tell us what looking forward to the program. What's the big need in the program now as we're starting off?
So right now we're just looking for volunteers, pretty much. Um, Anyone who is over 18, has judo experience, and can come out consistently is what we're looking for at the moment. So if anyone knows anyone who might be interested in something like this, please let me know or let Auntie Mari know, because the more volunteers we have, the bigger we can grow this. And what we want is just to have a place where kids can come and not feel judged and not feel like um, they're gonna get bullied for doing something that they like to do. And also it's for the parents too, because I know that for my mom, when my little brother's on the mat, she's constantly on edge, like, oh, is Noah gonna hold back the class, or is he gonna slap someone, or like what's gonna go on with Noah? And she's constantly stressed about that. But with a class like this, it's like you can come in and you can feel like, okay, this is for my kid, and this is something that they're purposely doing so that any kid can come on, anyone can have fun, and anyone can do judo in a place where they can make friends and feel safe. Um, and that's what our volunteers will be doing as well, like helping create that environment. So if anyone knows anyone that would want to come out and work with kids and provide that for them, then please let us know.
So that's the help on the mat. But again, there's help off the mat, right? Because
Right.
there's all the administrative part that needs to be done. There's the support. There's also it's not just about just the kids. We also want to minister to the families as well because the kids are struggling, but parents know we have kids, special need kids, the stress that they go through. So it's a holistic approach that we're taking, not just working with the kids. It's not just the program. It's holistic, where it's mind, body, and also the spiritual aspect. Any party shot you want to share?
So actually, when Uncle Kevin first asked me if I would do this, I didn't know how it was gonna go. So I remember asking God. I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna say. Like I have nothing to share. And this past week has been one of the most difficult weeks, work-wise, family-wise, this year so far. And it's almost like God was like, okay, you have nothing to share. I'll give you something. So be careful what you pray for, because he's gonna give it to you one way or the other, and it's not gonna be how you think. So yeah, it was a difficult week. It was stressful, also with the class. We didn't know who was showing up. Um, One of our volunteers actually got injured, so they couldn't come, and it was it was a rough week. Um, and I know that when I was asking God, like, oh, what can I talk about? What I had in mind was, what like miracle could I share? What um, good story can I share? What after can I share? Because a lot of people come up and they share like the after of what happened, like what God already did. But I feel like throughout this week, God has kind of been telling me, you don't have to share the after. You can share kind of like the struggle that you're going through currently, and that's okay too. So he gave me a difficult week. We're still struggling to find volunteers and all of that for the class, and we're going through the struggle. But I think God came up, or wanted me to come up here and tell everyone that um, you don't have to be perfect or have that after story before you go out and talk to people and you share with others. It's okay to tell them what you're struggling with and what you're going through, and that he'll get you through it. Like I know even for this Saturday gathering, we're currently, trying to grow and get bigger, and that's okay too. So it's just encouragement that this is a middle stage, and we're gonna all get there eventually. So yeah, if that's what I wanted to share.
All right, thank you.